Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build, we went games when we built a bolter from Warhammer. Turned out great, super cool build, beefy build. And if you missed that build, we're going to include the link to our channel's homepage in the description below so you can go check out bolter or any of the other super cool builds we have there, which means new build. So for this build, we're going to go fantasy. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. Ooh, the Mace of Azog, from a little story you've probably heard of, The Hobbit. That's right, look at that thing, man. Crazy insane. We've got three cool textures on here. We've got the leather grip, we've got the petrified wood handle, and we've got the stone head. Man, this thing is so cool. We've got the cool twine wrapped around it. This is one of the props we've done that has something other than strictly foam. We've added neoprene cord for tubing. We've added plastic, like in the Fortnite stink grenade. We've added metal clips. We've added several little extra pieces. Mostly everything's foam, but once in a while we add a little outside piece of material, and this time it's some cool twine. We've got some jute down here, the thin stuff. Then for the thicker stuff, we've got some hemp cord. And we've done the really cool tapered blades, so it looks like carved stone, sharp carved stone blades for the fins up here. Super cool. So in this episode, making an EVA foam Mace of Azog Part 1, we're going to go step by step through how to build this little Orkin nutcracker. And we have a template for this build too, so we're going to include the link in the description below to the storefront in case you want to go pick up a template and build along with us so you can have your very own Mace of Azog. Alright, that's it. I'm going to quit yapping. If you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, there we go. There's our pieces that are going to make up Azog's mace. And really easy build. We've got a 2-inch foam dowel that's 48mm. We're going to wrap it with a 4mm piece. We've got a couple 6mm pieces here. We've got a wood dowel. And we've got 5 of these inch-thick pieces that are going to make up the sections that go around the head of the mace. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off right off the bat. We're going to show you how we're going to handle these head pieces. So we're going to knock this out on the scroll saw and the band saw. All right, here we go. We're actually just going to use the scroll saw for this. And you saw in our last build, we used our drill press for the first time. Now we're going to use our scroll saw for the first time. So we've got our guide lowered, really easy. All right, look at that. Wow. Good. All right, there we go. Check that out. Really nice. Scroll saw is really cool. We can cut a really tight corner there, unlike with the bandsaw. So what we're going to do is this. Now this is where it gets interesting. We're going to take a Sharpie and we are going to draw a line roughly right down the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just like that. All right, now what we're going to do is this. We're going to take this piece of the template right here and we're going to transfer it onto this piece of foam. Just like that. Then we're going to come over to this side and do the same thing. Okay, now we're going to come in and we're going to take our box cutter and we're going to cut from this line to this line on an angle. So we're going to come in, see that? We're going from line to line. We're going to get our cut started. Now we're going to go very slow because you're headed towards your hand. Now see what we're doing? We're following right along both lines, just like that, nice and slow. We're just gonna keep going. Now remember, be careful. As you get closer to your hand, put your hand behind the blade like that so we're not heading towards our fingers. Really easy. Go right. All right, check that out. We've got a sawed off edge. Now we're gonna come around to this side and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go from this center line to this line on the back. So we're gonna come into right there and right there. We're gonna get it started. Now we're gonna line up our two lines again. Just like that. All right. And we'll follow right along our two lines. All right, there we go. Whoa, check that out. That is cool how our blade comes to a taper. Now it's really rough there. You could choose to leave it that way so it has a rustic feel, or we could come in with the Dremel and we could clean it off a little bit so it's not so bad. All right, now we're gonna come around and we're gonna do the same thing on this side. All right, there we go, look at that. Tapered, both sides. That is a sweet detail right there. Very nice. All right, that was it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're gonna scroll saw these and do the same thing with our box cutter. All right, there we go. There's our scrolled out piece with our tapered edge. Done 5 times. Really easy. Okay, now we're gonna get our Dremel out. We're gonna get our dust mask on. And we're gonna round off the edges and we're gonna clean this up a little bit. All right, there we go. Easy. We just rounded off all of our corners. We took some of the knife marks off, but we didn't want to take all of them off because we wanted to look kind of rough. All right, there we go. Check that out. Nice. All right. 4 more times. Wow, look at that. Man, what a disaster. There's dust everywhere. That's why you gotta wear your dust mask. Don't fool around. All right. So there we go. We did all those steps 5 times. We cut it with the scroll saw, we knifed the edge of our blades to be a peak, and then we Dremeled. Wow. All right, now we're gonna clean up this mess, and then we are going to heat seal it. All right, there we go. Look at that. Tightened up really nice. And look at how cool that looks. It's not perfect. We didn't want to get all of those knife lines off. We wanted some of them on there so it looks like this has been like carved out. Look at that. That's totally cool. Rounded edges, tight foam, slight imperfection there. Man, that looks like a nice stone blade right there. All right, now let's just heat seal the rest of these and we'll move on. All right, as you can tell, we slipped the new mat in. Once in a while you have to replace your cutting mat. It got kind of funky and hacked up, so we slipped the new mat in. All right, now next, we're gonna do this piece of our mace next. And what we're going to do is we're going to be using this much of the dowel, and we're going to wrap it with this 4mm piece of foam, which is cut to the same length. So we're gonna wrap this, and then after we wrap it, we're going to cut it because we have to do something to the one end. So we're gonna wrap this next. But what we need to do before we wrap it is we need to carry this mark over to right there. All right, so we know that's where we're going to cut after we wrap it. So. Give these a few minutes to dry before we stick them. All right, here we go. Let's line it up with the end here. Okay, now I just noticed something. The edge, because they're going to touch and we need them to stick. All right, now we can continue. All right, that easy, check that out. Very nice, all right. Okay, here we go. We're gonna come in. Normally, we would want our seam to be absolutely crazy perfect. We wouldn't want anybody to be able to see it. So we would come in and we would really pinch down like we're doing. See that? Nice. And then at the end, if there was any gaps, we could come in with our quick seal and we could fill it in. But we're gonna be putting one of those pieces that we scroll sawed and dremeled right over this crease. So you're probably not going to totally even see this seam, but we want to still get as close as we can. All right, we're gonna roll it just to make sure we get good contact everywhere. All right, now we're gonna cut here and here on the bandsaw because we want to taper this end a little bit. So let's step over to the bandsaw, knock these two off. Okay, here we go. There it is. We just zipped it out on the bandsaw. Now, when we put it back together, we'll line up these seams just so we know it's exactly in the right spot. All right, now this piece, we're going to taper it. Okay, here we go. We slightly tipped our table. Now we're gonna come in with this piece and we're gonna cut it out and we're gonna end up with a taper. Wow. And that is exactly what we wanted. Look at that. Okay, here we go. There it is. Look at that. Wow. Really cool. Really cool. All right, and this is going to come in and it's going to attach right on there like that. And that's exactly what we wanted because we need this piece to taper down. And it's going to go right to the handle. And then these pieces are going to come in and they're going to attach on here like that. Wow, very cool. Okay, now what we did is we took our circle template and it has these little crosshairs on it. We made our lines. Actually, we made our little dots. And now okay, now we know right where the dead center is. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to, when we come in with our wooden handle, it's going to need to go up inside here. So we're going to go over to the drill press and we're going to go right through here and come out the other side. All right, here we go. Now we're going to start with this bit and then we're going to move up to a thicker bit. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. We've got our wider bit in. All right, nice. All right, there we go. You can see all the way through there, perfect. All right, now what we're gonna do is when this comes on to here, we're gonna need that wood dowel to go through here and a little bit up into here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, do the same thing. We'll make our little crosshair marks. All right, there we go. All right, now we're gonna come in with our drill bit and we're going to get a hole started. All right, now we're gonna bring the larger bit in. We're gonna go in a little bit. All right, there we go, perfect. Now we've got a little bit of extra hole now in here. So the dowel's gonna go, wood dowel's gonna go through here and a little bit into here just so we've got stability. All right, that was it. Super easy. Now we will attach these two together. Perfect. Give it a couple minutes before we make contact. Line up. Make sure that we have a good tight seam all the way around. All right, that's tight. Perfect. Now, when we come in with our wood dowel and it feeds through here, it's going to slide in. It's going to go right about to there, which is perfect. That'll give us just the stability we need. And we don't need a whole lot because this isn't really heavy. We're going to have these attached to the end of here. But we wanted at least a little something in there just to keep it stiff. All right, and then those are going to go all the way around there. 5 of those. Beautiful. We are going to cut this little piece right here, which is going to be a cap here. So we're going to stand our knife up. We're going to pivot all the way around the circle. That's it. Just like that. All right, now we're going to get our dust mask on. Now we're going to come in with our heat gun. This is going to come in and it's going to go right in the center, just like that. Super. All right, there we go. Give it a couple minutes. Just going to come in and lay it in place. Make sure we get it right in the center, which we just did. All right, now we just make sure we got contact all the way around. All right, there we go. See that? That's all we wanted. Just that slight little raised cap right there, right in the end. Very cool. All right, nice and sweet. You saw how easy that was so far. We spent the whole first episode basically doing this front contraption. We cut out all the individual fins. We built this center tubular shape with the tapered bottom. But the bulk of the work went into these heads, and you saw how easy it was. You saw us saw the angles off on both sides with our box cutter to get these cool peaks, and it left these cut marks. We talked about how you can leave them if you want it really rough, or you can sand them off. So we took the Dremel, took little bits of them off so you can still see them, so that once you seal it and paint it, it has that like natural kind of like carved out look. Super awesome, man. This thing came out so good so far. So that's it. That concludes making an EVA foam Mace of Azog Part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.